Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Have you ever been lucky enough to watch someone try to juggle cream pies in a phone booth? It's entertaining, but really messy. If you enjoy being witness to that, then you're in luck, because the tight confines tonight make entertaining but messy the operative phrase. From the Chili Bowl, it's the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 7 coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. Now, the series organizers have called for little cars on a little track. Midgets make their return after they were the featured car in the series debut back at Limaland when Aiden Perdue won the night and jumped out to the points lead. Since then, the Camarillo Cannonball Brennan Rogers has come on the scene, winning every heat race he's entered and climbing past everyone into the points lead. But last round, it was real-world driver Alex Bergeron who stole the show. Most of the big names are here, and it's anybody's guess as to who will win the night. And those questions will be answered soon enough, as all the simulated midget action from the heats, semis, and A-Main can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. For the first time in GSRC history, I offer you a Hoosier State hello and well. Oh, let me get that right. I blew it. It's a Sooner State hello and welcome. Joe Peak joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, not all that far up in the press box, to bring you our bird's eye view. John Crackers Ambrose has director duties, armed with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. All right, Joe, I've worked with you countless times, and truth be told, when you do track descriptions about Daytona or Spa, I turn into Walter Mitty. But tonight, I'm all ears as you tell the viewers and myself about this unique racing venue.
Well, let's start with one of the most important bits as far as iRacing circuits go. It's small, like really small. When you get down to a quarter mile for a racetrack, it goes beyond a bull ring. This is more like a hockey rink, and you've thrown monster trucks in it. But despite all of that, the Chili Bowl hosts perhaps the most prestigious midget race in the U.S. Midget Nationals have been held here since 1987, and it brings out some big names, not just in dirt racing, but in racing in general. This all sounds well and good and notable, but in case our viewers haven't picked up on it by the visuals, it's also completely and totally indoors. Now, for dirt racing, this is huge because the sun isn't beating down on it to burn out all the moisture. That's not to say that the track isn't going to slick up tremendously, especially since you're looking at laps in the range of about 10 seconds, but a fresh track is going to be grippy as hell. And you'll want all the grip you can get because these tight confines mean passing will be at a premium until someone makes a mistake. In fact, I'd wager most of the passes will happen due to mistakes. The only way this venue could be more apropos tonight, Bill, is if instead of a convention center, it was a circus tent, because it's going to be a show.
Can't wait to see it. Let's go ahead and show you the point standings right now. Now, as drop races are eased into the standings, the rankings tend to freeze until we start counting races again, and such is the case for everyone here as everybody holds station. We talked about him in the opening. There's Brendan Rogers. You can see those two highlighted drop races. That means this is a driver's best, well, with 6 races in the book, it's a driver's best 4 of 6 races right now. The little drop by Rogers' name, he has 88 points in his pocket. Purdue has 70 points in his pocket. That's his largest drop race. You can see down the way Chance Crum, Corey Day, and Chad Wheeler. The driver that you do not see on that because of the late arrival is Alex Bergeron. But watch out! With so many drop races and that guy being so dominant, if he shows up, he still has a chance to sneak into the championship. The next one we're going to look at is the Hard Charger Award. And that one again stays exactly as it was before. The only difference is Jonathan Schaefer, who was in a tied for 5th place, sneaks up in there. He has 5th all to himself right now. Kobe Stidham, I'm telling you, he is exciting to watch. Let's see what he can do. He's leading that with 21 points, 5 up on Bryce Lucius. All right, Joe, there's a quick look at the points. Why don't we go over the race details?
Absolutely. We are in round 7 out of 12 so far, and you mentioned the drop weeks that can help some of the drivers out. This week, we are running the midget once more. We did that in the opening round. They've come back, and we'll see if anybody's learned anything since last time. It's fixed as always for the setups. And even though we do have qualifying to set the grid, the heats will determine how hard you have to work to get to the top at the end of the night. That's because those who don't finish within the top 2 in their heats will go to the semifinals, and then those in the semis who finish within, I believe it's the top 4, manage to get to the A main, which is the feature, and where they hand out all the big prizes. Speaking of which, that includes about $2,000 over the course of a season. So there's a lot to fight for.
There are indeed. Okay, we've gone over all the bookwork we need to go over. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on the track. I like that shot. I like that. The end zone cam, we call that one. You can really see how small this racetrack is.
Absolutely. Usually we talk about best seat in the house to watch the action, Bill. I'd say any seat in the house you can watch the action from in here. So, and what's fascinating about it is as well the speeds that these cars are doing. You're looking at about 60 miles an hour down the straight and 30 to 40 through the corners. So they're really not going all that fast. But it's fascinating because bringing in a world that probably viewers who are fans of this type of racing won't be as familiar with, but Formula One drivers talk about Monaco feeling like it's so much faster, even though it's the slowest track on their circuit. The same thing here. The sensation of the racing feels so frantic when you're in the car because everything's coming at you so quickly, even though, like I said, in the corners, you're just doing about 30 to 40.
You almost expect to see a high school football game break out in the infield there, or maybe some sprinters from high school out there running the 440.
Same distance,
Yeah.
And
Hayden Purdue is our fastest practicer right now. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, in fact, you mentioned Bergeron being back. He came in a little bit late, so that he's down the time charts, but that might be more due to him coming in late. But you can see, if you look up at the edges, you might notice that the banners that you've got in the corners look like they're half buried. Well, that's because the track has built up its own banking, essentially, and that will happen. Now, they are going to reset the track for the final, so that's going to change the racing. And though it will remove some of the banking, it's still going to be very, very grippy. So the track is going to get instantly fast again in the finale. And that's really going to test drivers on how they can adapt to, you know, if the last time they were out here was when it was really slick, suddenly it gets grippy again, you've got to readjust.
There's Cannon Posey, the youngster, back here with us tonight. Large field. I think we're going to have a full slate of racing. I'm assuming we're going to have all 5 heats, 3 semis, and then the main event with 16 cars.
Looks to be about the case. These we're kind of expecting it to be a little bit chaotic, especially during the heats, but the big question mark for me is how the final will go, because, well, they're going to have more cars out there, and with it being so small, you could handle 8 cars around here, but when you start to get 16 cars all lined up around here, then I haven't watched a race like that around here yet, so I'm curious to see how it'll go.
And of course, there are no yellow flags in the heats or the semis, although they do have live marshals, and they have thrown them when we have a big kerfuffle that really kind of tarnishes what's going on up there. If they don't get a good start, that's what they threw last time. They want to make sure everyone gets up there tight together. As we look at Alex Bergeron, the winner last time out.
Looks like warm-up's just about done, and the all-important qualifying. Here, more than anywhere else, Bill, I think qualifying is going to be of the utmost importance.
Not only for doing well in the event, but also for picking up a prize, because the fastest qualifier throughout the season gets presented with the Pit Logic Quick Time Award. Pit Logic is the most comprehensive chassis and shock setup application on the market, available on Google Play or on the Apple Store. Check them out at competitionsuspension.com/CSI-Logic-app. And with that said, it's qualifying time.
Absolutely. So they've changed the track back to 45% usage, so it's a little bit grippier, still slicked up somewhat. And seeing some drivers get times in very, very quickly here.
Very, very quickly indeed, as a lap only takes just a tick over 10 seconds.
Thing is, it's so easy to botch a lap around here that they do get those 3 laps to try and get one in, but you better hope that you mess up your first lap so that you can get back around to get your 3rd one in.
They start to roll in right now. Aiden Perdue sitting on top. Good qualifying run from Carson Batterby. We haven't seen him up front for a while, looking to get into the pole positions on one of the heats, but now as they start to roll down, Batterby drops down into 4th and continues to fall. Chase Randall now our top qualifier.
And we're watching Bergeron. He's setting his first lap this time by. So it's going to be... Oh, no, it's not going to count.
Looks like he hit the wall,
yeah.
Chase Randall continues to be the man up front. Oh, no, and there's Bergeron getting his time in there as he jumps to the top.
Wow, an 11-4. Let's see, what is this spread actually going to be throughout the field? Because I imagine it's going to be incredibly tight, which is the other thing that makes passing so tough around here, is there's the lap is so small, there's very little difference between performance. And I think we're looking at less than a second between 30 cars, Bill.
Bergeron, Randall, Day, Rogers, and Perdue look like they will be the pole sitters of each of the heats, and those are all the big names separated.
Watching Ericsson finish up his. See Bo Brandon actually going for a tumble on this one. It's incredibly easy to clip these walls and turn the car over. So even though we're going to see some turtles, drivers don't need to feel as embarrassed about it, because it's so simply easy to do.
Qualifying just about done.
Looks like Mitchell's just getting some laps in now. He's coming out of the pits. He and Spalding, yeah, the only two who haven't got a time in.
Boy, it makes a big difference. You get one in, you find yourself well up the order in one of the heat races that are coming up. Look at the 84 going around.
Now, you may have noticed when he just barely clipped the inside berm there, coming onto the track, how the front of the car started to pogo a little bit, and you saw it there too. That's really the worst thing that you want. These cars are... Whoa. And Mitchell certainly struggling here in qualifying. The gearing is so short in these cars at this track, Bill, that any pogoing is going to get the nose up in the air, because as soon as you press the throttle, even without hitting something, you can actually do wheelies very easy in these cars. And if the two front wheels are up in the air, you can't turn.
There you go.
So you'll find drivers just not understeering, but I guess just straight lining, straight into the outside wall if they get the front wheels up in the air.
On occasions, you'll see them racing on one wheel. The rear right-hand tires, they go around. The front wheels will come off, and the inside... Oh, and there we put it in the wall. That looks not going to work. Evan Spalding still trying to... Well, he's got a time in. And it looks like qualifying just about done.
I think it is set, because everybody who can set a lap is already run their 3. Everybody else who still has a lap left to go is sitting in the pit, so it's a little too late now to get out there and get one in.
It's safe to say that a few more Pit Logic Quick Time bonus points are going to go to our fastest qualifier today, and that is, no surprise here, Alex Bergeron, last round winner and the favorite to win it again today. And with that out of the way, they're going to grid up for our very first heat. As always, heat number 1 is sponsored by Joe's Racing Products. Now, Joe's Racing Products are designed and manufactured quality and innovative racing products in the USA. Find out more at joeracing.com. And there you see the stats. 8 laps, the top 2 will advance, and this is Ben-Hur Racing, no yellow flags. Let's go to the grid, Joe.
Top 2 is going to be even harder because we've got 10 drivers on these 3 heats. Bergeron is on the pole with this first one. Then it's Aiden Perdue outside of him. Carson Batterby starts row 2 with Carter Batterby. Both of the Batterbys on the same row in the same split. Bryce Lucius starts 5th with Jake Erickson 6th. Preston Perlmutter 7th. Heath Smith will be 8th. Dustin Davidson 9th. And Ryan Mitchell rounds out the 10 in this heat.
Because there were only 4 heats, that means that our 5th place qualifier, Aiden Perdue, who I thought would be sitting on the pole in heat number 5, will not. He's going to be teamed up with Alex Bergeron, so there's no room for error if Perdue wants to advance. Top 2 will advance, and right now that's our front row, obviously Bergeron and Perdue. Carson Batterby behind. Time to go racing! Round number 7 in the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. Perdue loses momentum.
And a good start so far. A few drivers may be tipping each other a little bit, but otherwise this is not as messy as I thought it would be. Ryan Mitchell having some problems in climbing the wall.
Bergeron and Perdue comfortably out in front. Carter Batterby on the high side. Down low, fighting for that 3rd place position. Well, that's his brother, Carson. Batterby. The youngster, Bryce Lucius, in 5th.
Oh, and the leaders, that was Mitchell wrecking in 1 and 2, and now he's finally exited. He was just having a lot of trouble getting around here.
Yeah, it happened up front. He was being lapped, so luckily he did not bounce in front of the leaders. No harm to Bergeron or Perdue as they work now lap number 6. But they do have some more lap traffic as they come up behind Dustin Davidson.
Throttle control here over many of the other tracks that we've been at so far means a lot. The driver who really can read the track and read their car is going to have the most speed.
Davison doing a good job trying to keep the car up top. But now they get the white flag lap. Oh no, and he gets together with Aiden Perdue. Perdue able to keep it going. I think 2nd place is going to be safe. Meanwhile, coming off the final corner and winning the first heat is Alex Bergeron. Purdue will get second.
Carter Batterby gets third and Carson Batterby fourth. Bryce Lucius winds up fifth. Preston Perlmutter is P6. Heath Smith seventh. Dustin Davidson ninth. And then it's Ryan Mitchell who winds up 10th. Ryan Mitchell winds up ninth. Jake Erickson, I think, was a did not start for that race. Bill?
Oh my goodness, the perils of lap traffic on a quarter-mile racetrack. Now it's time for heat number 2. This is brought to you thanks to Factor One Chassis. Factor One Micro Sprint Chassis have been providing an unfair advantage for over 30 years. More information, go to factoronracing.com.
First is going to be Chase Randall. Kobe Stidham will start next to him. James Andrechuk starts third. Matt Moore will be P4 at the green dropping. Christopher Townsend 5th and Avery Goodman 6th. Then it's Corbin Hazlett in 7th, Brandon McCullum in 8th, Reed Whitney in 9th, and Bo Brandon rounds out your 10-car field.
Chase Randall, our second fastest qualifier. Kobe Stidham, notorious for being a hard charger. Nobody to pass right now except for Randall. So not a lot of hard charger points going to be earned today from Stidham. Andrechuk is always quick. Watch for him in the inside of the third row, and we've seen Matt Moore be effective as well outside of row 2. The rest of those guys will really have to work hard if they're going to advance. Look at the jump that tried to happen up there from Stidham. He's going to be on the high side, and he's got a chance to go ahead and lead this first lap side by side, and he gets the better on Randall. And I think if he can get it wound up and get a drive out of that final corner, yes, indeed, Stidham is your leader.
Randall started that race way too much on the berm, his left wheel on there, and that caused him to be unable to get on the power. So that's why you saw him drop back and get such a horrible start. Now he's paying the price for it.
James Andrechuk in third, trying his best to get up to the leaders, but right now he's got a mirror full of Avery Goodman.
Oh, not anymore, because Goodman gets the wall with Moore sneaking by him.
Christopher Townsend bounces off of those drivers. He takes over 5th position. Up front is still Stidham doing a great job, looking to pick up his first heat win this season.
And this is exactly what he needs to do in this situation. You can get by the leader, but if the leader's hounding you, it doesn't do you much good because you got to withstand a lot of pressure. Right now, he's actually running away.
Bo Brandon was actually upside down on the high racing line. A few drivers got into him as they came around for a lap. Hard to get your car off the track in time before the cars run all the way around. White flag lap now for Stidham.
So it's like a pretty simple run for those top two.
James Andrechuk not going to be able to get there out of the final corner. There's a car out there on the racing line. No problem for Kobe. Kobe Stidham gets the win. Also advancing Chase Randall.
Matt Moore manages to move up to third, Corbin Hazlett fourth, and then James Andrechuk recovers. James Andrechuk I'm seeing in third now all of a sudden. Matt Moore in fourth, Hazlett fifth, Christopher Townsend gets P6, Avery Goodman seventh, Reed Whitney eighth, Bo Brandon ninth, and Brandon McCullum was the last on the field getting a DNF for that race.
No rest for the weary as the heats keep a-coming. Round number heat, this is brought to you by WR1 Sim, built by racers for racers. WR1 Sims are the choice of industry professionals like Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. Here's how you get a hold of them. WheelerMetals.com. Joe, who's on the pole?
It is going to be Corey Day starting it off with Logan Rumsey on his outside. Ryan Gaunt will be in third. Then row 2 completed by Cannon Posey. Hunter Brady starts 5th, and then Jet Barnes in 6th. Tyler Rust will be 7th. Kenny Miller will be 8th, and Colin Mitchell rounds out only a 9-car field for this, the final heat. Third heat out of 4, I believe, actually.
Corey Day sits 4th in the points and has a heat win already this season, looking to get his second one. They come around, race control, trying to get them all lined up. Time to go racing. A good jump from Day.
Much better than what we saw last time, for sure.
Absolutely. Logan Rumsey in second. Ryan Gaunt is trying to fend off Cannon Posey, the youngster. The 7-year-old racing back there, trying to pick up another spot on Gaunt. Up front, there's a battle, though. They are side by side on the top side. Day with momentum. Rumsey down low.
Day's trying to run that high side, but around here, it's actually surprisingly hard to use that. Oh, and I think he's going to be able to get by him with a little roughhousing.
Ryan Gaunt put it in the wall. He was in third. He's out of the picture now. That moves Rumsey up in front, and now Day's got his hands full because here comes the kid, Cannon Posey.
And this is really bad news. It looks like Day is he's slided in way too high, and he's losing all his momentum trying to diamond it too much. Really needs a little bit more of a smoother, consistent line, and now he's trying the low side, it looks like.
Now Corey's feeling a little bit better. Remember, he gets the right rear into the wall, but that does not slow him down. Coming around, he'll have this and one more to go. Even if Posey can't get into the transfer spot, he'll find himself in a good position when they go into the semis. Tyler Russ back there in fourth has nothing for the guys up front. Kenny Miller taking the high line, bounces it into the wall. He's okay. White flag. Logan Rumsey will advance. He has a comfortable win coming out of the final corner. Started up front. He lost the position today, but he'll get the win. Corey Day gets second.
Looks like Cannon Posey is going to be third, with Tyler Russ finishing fourth. Kenny Miller, P5, Jet Barnes 6th, Colin Mitchell 7th, Hunter Brady 8th, and there we go. Ryan Gaunt finishes 9th. Every time the session resets, for those wondering what's going on, it resets our timing and scoring, so we got to shuffle things around to figure out where our times went.
I think we got it all straight. So now it's time to talk about heat number 4, Chalk Sticks. Chalk Sticks offering the best torsion bars money can buy to the micro sprint, midget, and sprint car markets. Chalksticks.com is where you want to look for them. Joe, what do we got?
Brennan Rogers starts at the top spot. Chance Crum will be next to him in second. Then it's Jonathan Schaefer on the inside of row 2. Evan Spalding on the outside. Chad Wheeler starts 5th. Then it's Colton Collins in P6 and Grayson Springer 7th. Seth Bergman starts 8th. Matt Kaiser will be a did not start this race, so only 8 cars in the field.
The Camarillo Cannonball, Brennan Rogers, up front, has yet to be beaten in a heat race that he has raced in, and he's in a good position right now, looking to make it 6 for 6. Chance Crum, though, is very effective, a tough driver, and he knows how to get around this track as well. But keep an eye on the number 30 of Brennan Rogers. We go racing for heat number 4. A pretty good jump from Crum. Look at the momentum, a little dipsy-do, a little up and under. Look at that, Crum has a chance, but Chance can't get it done.
Yeah, Brennan Rogers using his momentum well up around the high side there. It seems like the starts are all critical at this track. If you get a poor jump, then really you set the tone for the rest of your short race here.
Jonathan Schaefer in a great battle, and going around is the car in fourth. That was Evan Spalding, who was making a run for third. Now they are well out of it, so now our attention focuses back up front.
Colton Collins is well involved in that. They're trying to get it going so that they don't get caught by the leaders, but the stewards might ask them to park it here soon if they get in the way.
Boy, with the pace that Rogers is putting down, he's going to run up on the back of Colton Collins here in a second, and Evan Spalding. They do have it going. We're on board with Rogers right now as he negotiates around this quarter-mile track. This is a fun camera. Look at the moisture on the track, glistening off the lights above.
That's not even moisture, Bill. That's actually the rubber that's been laid down. So that's not grippiness you're seeing. That's slickness.
Rogers in first position now, comfortably working around as we are working lap number. Well, it's a white flag lap for Rogers. He's behind a guy and has one more lap to go. Coming out of the final corner, that's Rogers. Second place goes to Chance Crum.
We thought for a second that he was going to get tripped up by that lapped car. Schaefer finishes third, Wheeler fourth, Evan Spalding, Colton Collins P5 I'm seeing. Spalding gets 6. Then it's Grayson Springer 7th, and Seth Bergman last of the field. As I mentioned, Kaiser was a did not start.
And now I'm listening. They're chastising a few of the drivers for being a little bit with some industrial strength language. They're going to try to keep it clean for everybody. And now the heat races are done, so we move over to the semis, and I believe there's going to be 2 of these tonight. Our first one is going to be the Allgaier Performance Parts Semi number 1, your one-stop shop for everything high performance in the Midwest. Check them out on Facebook. And the one thing you can notice down there, we're going to go 10 laps. And because we have only a few drivers here, we're going to transfer, I believe, 4 drivers, I think is how we're going to do that one. And Joe, what do we got?
I'm seeing 2 to the feature, but we'll confirm it after this race, I suppose. Well, we've got Carter Batterby starting on the pole, Jonathan Schaefer starting second. Then it's Tyler Rust in third, Corbin Hazlett fourth, and Preston Perlmutter in fifth. Grayson Springer P6, Colin Mitchell seventh, Reed Whitney eighth, and Ryan Mitchell rounds out the 9-car field.
Actually, with 3, we have 3 mains coming up here, so... Top 2 to the feature. We got the confirmation from race control. Time to go racing. Batterby out in front. Jonathan Schaefer right behind him.
Hazlett's trying to bring some speed in, but he took it in way hot into that corner. That means Rust is going to get in front of him. Nicely done, but Rust doesn't want this 3rd spot. He's got to be up to 2nd, remember.
Rust with the low line right behind Schaefer. All him around, that is Hazlett. Perlmutter in the mix, too, back there in 4th. On the top side now is Perlmutter.
This is going to take a lot from Schaefer. He's clearly under pressure, and he looks like he's struggling. Oh, and he gets a little bit of saving grace. Everybody behind him ran into one another.
They were coming at him from all angles, and they got together. And that's going to make it a little easier now for Schaefer. He only has to worry about Corbin Hazlett. Hazlett able to avoid all the chaos going on behind. That continues behind. Rust, Springer, and Mitchell continue to bang wheels.
Yeah, it's looking a little Keystone Cops, unfortunately, which that tends to just be how the racing is around here. Even in these tiny cars, there's just not much space.
Carter Batterby working lap number 7. He'll have a lap car to deal with as we're going 10 laps. He'll probably get up to Reed Whitney here before this race is done. Whitney trying to keep some momentum going on. There is a chance, though, for Hazlett, if he can get it going, can get a chance to get up to Schaefer.
Yeah, but he just clipped the wall that last time through 3 and 4, and that cost him a little bit of time. I'm not sure that he really has enough laps to try and run down Schaefer unless he sees a big mistake.
We'll be getting the white flag this time around for Batterby. Carter out in front by a comfortable margin. Going really wide at Jonathan Schaefer, but he has a good cushion. Those 2 will advance. It's going to be the end of the road for Corbin Hazlett as our winner. Carter Batterby advancing Jonathan Schaefer as well.
Hazlett takes a little bit of a disappointing 3rd for him. Tyler Rust 4th, and Colin Mitchell P5. Grayson Springer 6th. Reed Whitney a lap down in 7th. Perlmutter 8th, and a did not finish for Mitchell in P9.
All right, it's time for our semi number 2, brought to you by Sharp Advantage, specializing in customized racing safety products of the highest quality. Check them out at sharpaDvantageSafetyProducts.com. Who's on the grid, Joe?
James Andrechuk is on the grid up at the front. Carson Batterby will be in 2nd on this one. Then it's Chad Wheeler starting 3rd, Kenny Miller in 4th, and Christopher Townsend 5th. Heath Smith rounds out row 3 in P6. Seth Birdman will start 7th, Hunter Brady 8th, Bo Brandon 9th, and actually I think Bo, Brandon, and Jake Erickson are not showing up so far, so they might not be able to race for this semi.
Wheeler sits 5th in the points right now, but in jeopardy of missing the feature. Carson Batterby would like to join his brother that just got into the feature. Batterby sitting outside of row 1. James Andrechuk in pretty good position on the pole. Odds-on favorite for Andrechuk to advance.
Also, Seth Bergman will not be racing in this one, I believe. He was one of the drivers that drew the ire of the stewards.
All right, the beautiful pace car takes them around, pace truck, my apologies, takes us around the track. Number 20 on the pole.
Yeah, what amuses me is that iRacing had to model that truck, but it actually has no branding. It is the iRacing brand truck.
Not going to be able to find one of those on the showroom floor, I guess. James Andrechuk out in front. This all been about the start so far tonight, and Andrechuk lives up to what? Oh no! He gets tagged. He's bumped it. He's going to keep the car going straight. He does indeed. But no, now he's around.
Oh, and that is Smith, unfortunately, that got tangled up with him on the backstretch there. That gives Miller the front spot.
I don't want to name the wrong thing. I think Townsend might have got into him originally, and then another couple drivers got into him. So Kenny Miller out in front. Carson Batterby managed to get away from all that nonsense. He hangs on to second. Christopher Townsend on the cushion on the inside now, very slow in third.
It's really easy to get the car a little too far inside because you kind of got to flirt right there on the edge of it to run that low line. You'll see cars just put a wheel up on it, but again, you get too much of it and the car just gets all kinds of unsettled and sometimes goes sideways. I think we had a car flipping. That was Andrechuk.
Yeah, tough night for him. Boy, there is a battle going on. Can we look back at Townsend and Brady? This is a battle for third. That orange car of Brady.
Miller. Batterby, yeah.
Look at this. As they continue to fight.
Batterby's on a charge. And in fact, he's working a high line very well. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Miller down low, Batterby up top. Number 8 right now. Neither one of those drivers really need to do anything to qualify, but they'd like to pick up a few spots on the semi-grid, or on the A-main grid, I apologize.
And this is another example of what I was talking about last week at Knoxville, where eventually the entire track just slicks up. Look at it, it is black from top to bottom.
Hunter Brady now out of the mix as he fights all by himself for 5th position with himself. Up front, white flag has been waved. There's going to be Carson Batterby getting the checker flag. Kenny Miller gets 2nd. They will advance.
Chad Wheeler sneaks into P3. Christopher Townsend 4th. Hunter Brady P5. Heath Smith 5 laps down in 6th. And as I mentioned, Andrechuk with a horrible DNF to finish 7th on that race. Bill?
Boy, he started in the prize position, and it did not work out for him. All right, we have one more semi for you, and this is the Clausen Marshall Racing semifinal number 3. Racing in honor of the great Brian Clausen. CMR specializes in grooming young racing talent for the upper levels of motorsports. Check him out, ClausenMarshallRacing.com.
It's going to be Cannon Posey starting on the top spot. Matt Moore will be next to him. Bryce Lucius starts 3rd with Colton Collins in 4th. Chet Barnes, P5 for him. Avery Goodman looks like he will not start this race. Dustin Davidson takes his spot in 7th. Matt Kaiser 8th. Ryan Gaunt 9th. And Brandon McCullum rounding out the 9-car field, even though he's starting 10th.
Looking around here, this is the final semi. Some order going on from everybody as they try to get it organized. Time to go racing. Last chance, last dance, not for love, but to advance.
Ooh, and one car getting sideways down there. Looks like that one's Collins. I think he's done. Battle for 2nd is fierce, though. Moore and it looks like Lucius. Oh, make that the lead now.
John having a few technical issues. You can go ahead and take this one.
So Matt Moore is going to lead this one. Lucius manages to get into 2nd now that sorted itself out. Poor Cannon Posey, though, was under attack. So I'm not sure that he'll be able to get back up into 2nd. Jet Barnes actually already trying to overtake him for 3rd place. Moore extending the gap lap by lap ahead of these drivers behind. Indeed, I think Ryan Gaunt also had some problems as he is now out.
Bryce Lucius, an 8-year-old trying to advance if he can. He's racing in 2nd position behind Moore. Nobody else going to give them a run. Cannon Posey tries, he might is back in 3rd. He's going to be left out. Jet Barnes in 4th.
So for the second race in the row, we're seeing one of the pole sitters find himself run out of the big show. Cannon Posey, remember, was starting up at the very front. He's already down to fourth now as he just got overtaken again.
Leaders working lap number 8 right now. They'll come around this one and 2 more from there. Matt Moore has it all his way. Bryce Lucius, a hard charger, back there in second. Best battle on the track between Barnes and Posey, but we're going to focus up front as our leader has taken the white flag lap. Matt Moore, his night isn't over. He'll get to race again, but he has to do it from well in the back. Matt Moore gets
nicely done.
The semi-win. Bryce Lucius gets second.
Jet Barnes just off of the big show there in third. Posey has got to be disappointed with himself getting fourth after starting it on pole. Matt Kaiser fifth. Dustin Davidson is going to be in sixth. Brandon McCullum seventh. Ryan Gaunt eighth. Colton Collins ninth. And Avery Goodman did not start. Bill?
And now it's time for the A-Main, the feature event. Brought to you thanks to Hergot Real Estate Group, servicing the greater Indianapolis area. They specialize in helping racers find that home or shop of their dreams. HergotGroup.com. We can look at the stats there now. We are going not 30 but 40 laps today, as this is a short track. They can easily do 40. Incident cap is at 18. And we have yellow flags that will be active, and we expect there to be a few of those before the night is done.
Hopefully not too many, though.
On the pole is Alex Bergeron. Cody Sidham is outside of him. Logan Rumsey and Brendan Rogers in the second row. Aiden Perdue, Chase Randall fill up row 3. Corey Day and Chase Crum go 7th and 8th. Joe?
Carter Batterby will be 9th, and Carson Batterby will be 10th, once again on the same row with each other. Matt Moore starts 11th, Jonathan Schaefer 12th, Kenny Miller 13th, and Bryce Lucius, the last one to get through.
14 drivers here tonight, not the regular 16, as we were one heat race short. So 2 from each of the 4 heats, and then 2 each from the 3 semis. That gives us 14. And right now is Alex Bergeron, who would like to see if he can go back-to-back. Gather at the chicken steak, covering on the cows. The horses are out of the barn, and as Alex Bergeron leading the stampede down in the first corner. Cody Sidham is in second.
Already got our first caution. Trying to figure out who that was. I think it was Carter Batterby.
He went around. I think clipping him going around, I think it was Chance Crum on the outside.
It was indeed. Let's see the replay. Trying to see who would be a good angle to watch this from. I think Jonathan Schaefer had a really good front row view if we want an onboard.
We're looking at the start now. Now we're on the roadkill cam with Schaefer. There you go. Bryce Lucius got a part of that going by. I think his car is going to be fine. Lucius picks up a spot. Now remember, these yellow flag laps count. So they are working lap number 4. Pace car is in. They'll be going green for lap number 5 of 40. Alex Bergeron on the outside, trying to get a jump on the inside. Cody Stidham. Stidham having the race of the season so far for him in second. Brendan Rogers, your point leader, watching on from third position. More bumping and banging going on behind. Logan Rumsey is in fourth.
So far, so good. This is a much cleaner start on this one. Everyone's kind of got their own little piece of racetrack. And again, it is all gripped up again. They've reset the track, so the line is mostly the lone line. And you're going to see it slowly start to work its way up as we got another caution.
Corey Day was able to get around Chase Randall. They got together. I'm not sure if that's what the caution was for.
No,
I think
it was Matt Moore and Carson Batterby, it looks like.
We're going to take a
Batterby actually
replay of that one.
Wound up on his lid. The leaders were nearly upon them before they got the yellow thrown. Here you're going to see them come around and then check up just in time.
Honestly, with a large field like this, they're already about a quarter of a lap behind the leaders to start with, and it only takes 10 seconds to get around. The leaders are on you pretty quick. Hard to get the car out of the way. Bergeron, Stidham, Rogers, and Rumsey, your top 4. Aiden Perdue, very strong driver, back in 5th position. We go racing again. A good jump from Bergeron, not so good from Stidham. Challenging for that 2nd position, that's Brendan Rogers trying to make the low line work. More bagging in the back. They want to get in some green flag, try to pass while they can before the yellow flags again.
Oh, but a challenge for the lead. Stidham's looking at it, and he, almost a slide job. And
Bergeron goes all the way back to 5th, 6th position now.
Just as the yellow flies out, and that might have been because of Bergeron.
Now this is going to be interesting. We want to make sure that that pass actually will stick. I think it will. Joe, that's Bergeron leading, and then Stidham coming in low.
Yeah, he basically just, hashtag sent it. And unfortunately, Bergeron was already there at the apex. His car just got shoved out wide, and he had no control at that point. He's actually really lucky that nobody T-boned him, because everyone went way to the bottom and just snuck through.
iRacing scores Stidham in the lead. That moves Brennan Rogers into 2nd now. Logan Rumsey watching on from 3rd. How far back did Bergeron fall? 6th. Still within
I'm fairly certain that caution was because of Bergeron.
Pace, the truck is in. And we go racing. Stidham now has a big name behind him, Brendan Rogers. Still with many, many laps to go, 24 to go to get that pass made.
And we've watched a lot of Bergeron racing up at the front so far, but none of him trying to come through the field. So I'm curious to see if he can try and work his way past a track that is extremely hard to pass at.
He's got Randall in front of him. Doing his best as he tries to get Bergeron in the blue car. Losing gaps now to chase Randall. Randall has visions of going around, and he does.
Bryce
moves up into 5th.
Bryce Lucius brings out the caution. Looks like this is a case of, I think it looks like Chance Crum in front of him who got a little sideways. Lucius had to check up, and unfortunately that sent the car around. And then he got tipped completely around by Carson Batterby, who's come back out just trying to run some laps.
So they line up again. This is good news for Kobe Stidham. Nobody can pass him under the caution. Less drivers, less laps he'll have to defend. Bergeron is in 6th with Chase Randall in front of him. 19 laps to go.
You're seeing that the track is slicking up a little bit at the bottom. Not a whole lot. It's just mostly drying out right now. And so you're going to see the line creep up just a little bit towards the top. And we're still only halfway through, so it could get much slicker after this, Bill.
Great jump from Kobe as he stays out in front. Brendan Rogers, the man who has been so tough, sits atop the points, chasing him right now. Getting some momentum on the top side. Logan Rumsey trying to make that work.
Perdue has horrible internet connection right now, which makes life a headache for everybody around him because they want to pass him, but unfortunately you can't see where in the world he is.
Drivers and commentators alike. Look at that. Rumsey goes around, but now fight back for Brendan Rogers. They get together. Rumsey is in the wall. He's going to lose spots. Rogers keeps it going. He's safe in 2nd.
Caution is out. That was essentially, I think, because, well, that incident we saw where he chucked it in there, but then weirdly, Aiden Perdue almost missed the incident, but because on our screen, he blinked out, and then suddenly he blinked back in, and it looked like he did hit it in the end.
So the caution comes up maybe in thinking a little bit, using a little psychic caution work there coming out before it really needed to. They kept it going. Bergeron works his way up to 5th now.
Driver's starting to get a little vocal about Purdue's connection issues, saying something to the stewards.
It does make it tough on the drivers and commentators and directors alike.
Pace truck is in.
All right. They'll be working lap number 31. Look at this. We have a challenge for the lead. Rogers gets the inside down and could not make it stick, but he gave Stidham all he could want. Randall now on the outside. Randall with momentum. Chase Randall up to the lead. Can he make it work on the outside? They get together. They both stall. Then they go over Stidham and
There's
Randall.
the caution. Yeah, and honestly, Chase Randall was doing the smart thing there. I thought he was the cleverest one in the group. You could see him working around the high side where they're scrabbling on the low side. He knows where the grip is. He should have run away with this thing. It's just he had some hard luck as the 5 was trying to slide high himself, and there was the 17 suddenly there. And that sent Randall all the way to the back. Brennan Rogers, of everyone, actually came out on top.
The drivers in front. Now, Rogers started that run in 2nd. But Randall made the move, got side by side with Stidham. They get together. Rogers able to avoid all the carnage. He gets the spot. Rumsey up to 2nd more. And I guess maybe that I guess Bergeron got caught up in that one too, because he's no longer in the mix.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Working lap number 36. Rogers doing what he does, winning races out in front. A great run from Logan Ramsey in 2nd. Moore in 3rd. Corey Day, haven't heard much from him. He's working his way up. And another caution.
It's Chase Randall. Oh, and this was a simple one. Randall came in a lot harder than Chance Crum was going to. And actually, you know what? Poor Chance Crum, I think he hit the incident limit, because as soon as he got bopped in the back, he disappeared.
Well, the yellow flags are quick, but not quick enough, I think, for us to go green again. As the truck will come around, the drivers will see lap number 39.
If it is, it's going to be a one-lap shootout. Yeah.
39, when the truck comes around, they'll be waving the white flag. It might be... Well, the lights would have to be... No, the truck's coming in.
Oh.
We got ourselves a one-lap shootout. All right, here we go. Chase Randall. He gets a great jump, starts the jump in corner number 4. He is out in front. Logan Rumsey chasing him about 3 car lengths back. 2 corners to go. Rogers out of the final corner gets the round number 7 win in the CSI Spring Season Championship. Logan gets 2nd. Matt Moore gets 3rd.
4th is going to go to the blinking Aiden Purdue. Corey Day gets 5th in the end. Schaefer 6th, and Batterby 7th. A lot of the field DNF'd on this one, but probably the most we've seen of any of our races so far.
Was indeed. Okay, the racing is over here in Oklahoma, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the CSI 2019 Spring Season Championship. Round number 7 here from the Chili Bowl. The results are in. Let's give them to you right now. It is your points leader, Brendan Rogers, takes advantage of a little bit of misfortune in front of him, and he vultures his way to the win. Logan Rumsey was really quick at second. Matt Moore in third. The last part of your top 5, Aiden Perdue, who was blinking heavily, finishes ahead of Corey Day. 6th, 7th, and 8th go to Jonathan Schaefer, Carter Batterby, and Kenny Miller. Joe?
The last car to manage to finish on the lead lap was Chase Randall, which disappointing. Like I said, I was impressed with the way he was racing before he got into trouble. Then you've got Bryce Lucius in 10th, Chance Crum in 11th, and Carson Batterby in 12th. Then you get to the cars that were DNF'd, Kobe Stidham and Alex Bergeron rounding out your feature field.
All right, Joe's going to make his way over and is going to let Joe talk to our race winner, Brendan Rogers.
Yeah, Brennan certainly was in the thick of it for parts. Talk to us a little bit about mid-race when you had that big pile-up in front of you, and somehow, when the caution flew, you were up at the lead. Were you as surprised as us?
Yeah, you guys got to go?
We do.
Yeah, that was a sticky race for that's to say the least. That one had me sweating, and I'm curious how that looked for the broadcast. There was some latency issues, I'll say, between some of the competitors, and just a hairy one. You know, I knew the track was going to move up the line, and yeah, that pile up, man. This track just keeps you on your toes. You know, when it's single file restarts, you're already passing lap cars in a few laps. So I just knew to look farther than the leaders in front of me, and I saw all that, and you got to time the yellows because you don't want to slow down too soon and get passed by a couple guys before the flag drops. So just try to hold on, and at the end there, man, people were scrambling and I was sweating and just got in the right line at the right time. Fortunately we didn't get taken out or anything and kept the nose clean.
With how quickly the laps go by here, how many did you get in practice? Did you do any warm-up outside of the one we had yesterday and obviously the warm-up here before the qualifying session?
No, I actually didn't. I didn't run any warm-up races. I ran a couple laps, nothing on the tacky surface at all. I figured it would be real slick, so I was more prepared for the slick surface. And when it reset 0, I knew I was going to start high, and I was a little nervous. When it's tacky at a real short track, the bottom can be a little bit of a fishbowl. So just try to get low and hold on to positions. I was worried about Purdue. I know he's second in points. I knew if he got ahead of me, he's a tough guy to pass. So are all those guys. I know Bergeron had some bad luck. I know I'm sure Corey Day had some bad luck, and I got lucky, to say the least.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Got you a victory today. Congratulations. Anybody you want to thank?
Just my guys in TeamSpeak. Just the guys that kind of keep me calm through the race day. This stuff. I said it before, I get more nervous doing the sim racing than when I race in real life. So just those guys that kind of keep me cool, keep me notified on what's going on. And it's funny, last week actually during the feature, my steering wheel had broke, the calibration went out. So I went in turn 3 and pretty much straight lined the wall, and I was pretty disheartened after that. I was pretty bummed. So but had a spare G27 in the old storage room, so we were good to go for this weekend. And yeah, I really just got to thank my buddies in TeamSpeak that they keep me from losing my head in a rough race like.
Well, fantastic stuff, and glad you were able to redeem yourself after last week. Then that was our winner, Brendan Rogers. Bill, looks like you've caught up with second place.
12-year-old driver out of Manchester, Pennsylvania is Logan Rumsey. Logan, congratulations. So close to picking up the win.
Yeah, thank you. Almost got it done there.
Little different racing on these quarter-mile tracks, boy. You're always turning that car.
Sorry, what did he say?
Well, let me talk to you about this. I noticed that you're a real-world racer, correct?
Yeah.
What do you drive what is it, a 600 micro sprint?
It's a restricted 600.
Let me ask you this. Has the car always been right side up, or have you ever turned that car over?
I haven't flipped yet.
Right. That's good rules to live by. How did it feel out there tonight? You happy? Got to be happy with second place, right?
Yeah, I thought the track would be one lane for the feature, even because it was at 0%, but it got super racy by the end.
Well, congratulations on a second place finish. Look, what time is it? It's 7:15 out there in Pennsylvania. Have you done your homework yet?
No.
All right. All right. You finished second, now get to the homework. But you got your priorities right. iRacing first, then schooling. That's the way we do it here. Hey, congratulations. Good job.
Thank you.
Logan Rumsey, second place finisher today.
Thanks, Grandpa Bill, for the advice.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of years, I'll give him some dating advice, and then he'll be home. He'll be free from there. All right. I think that's going to do it here for us on the Global Sim Racing channel. And so with that, we're going to wrap it up. Let me scroll down here and tell you all the people that we need to thank that made this thing possible. How about, first of all, our sponsors, especially their series sponsor, CSI Shocks, for making this broadcast a reality. On screen now are just some of the equipment and software used to stream cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to June Alon, who provides our iconic music. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. The CSI Shocks spring season continues in 1 week. That's going to be May 15th. Oh my goodness. We go from little cars on a little track to big cars at a big stadium. We're putting those unlimited modifieds at Charlotte. GSRC will be there. We hope that you join us. Now, of course, it's not the Charlotte big course. You know where we're going. Sliding across your screen now are just some of the upcoming GSRC broadcasts. So check this out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about us, GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Gram. Also, if you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by hitting that big red button so you don't miss a minute here on GSRC. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Joe, Dougie, and Sean. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, as it was indeed one more win for Brennan Rogers as he increases his points lead. With that said, we're off to enjoy storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.